Clubs, the fixtures are out.
Hey, it's good to see you, Graham. It must be the start of a new season, is it? Hey, new set of fixtures. Rochdale away, can't be bad. What a glorious day. Yeah, had the sponsors down and the partners down. Hopefully it's a good start to a good season.
It is that time, isn't it, now, when it gathers momentum, and I think you've been well pleased with how people have taken up things and opportunities to be with your football club, especially after what happened last season.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I don't like to keep harping back to the past, but we all know the last couple of years have been, ludicrous, and without our supporters, without our sponsors, without our partners, who knows where we'd have been. So, it's a huge thank you, another huge thank you, because you can't say thank you enough. But today was about not only saying thank you, but showing them the new pitch, which looks absolutely fabulous. Let's hope it looks like that in January. And, renewing old acquaintances and telling them what we've done and what our hopes and aspirations are for the new season. So I think today's gone well. I think we've got great stakeholders, haven't we? People who just love this football club, and that's what this football club's about.
Well, the management team got 4 games at the end of last season and were appointed on a full-time basis. This is their first time together as the head of the management team. You're the chairman with your directors. How have you seen them working, and how do you think it's going for them?
I think the team is the key element of that. Alex has got a good team there. He's got the new recruitment team. We won't know how that's gone, obviously, until we see guys kick balls. But they've been working really hard since they took over 4 games out from the end of last season. And they've worked tirelessly through the summer, hardly taking a day off, really. And what I see is all positive. We've done all the grounds at Rees yesterday to see them all back. I mean, they've been back individually for quite a long while, the players doing their own thing. But yesterday they were all collectively back. Alex and Lee addressing them and watching them career around the new grass on Rees Heath and whacking the ball in the back of the net was a joy. It's what we all look forward to, isn't it? When the season finishes is when the next one starts, and when the sun's shining, hey ho.
How important was it to set up that new recruitment team, and how did you feel then that you've just briefly taken a look at it, of how they've knitted together as a unit?
Well, it was very important. It was very important because it's such a big part of every club now, trying to get your recruitment right. And historically, and even now, when you look at the number of 18s we've got coming through, recruitment hasn't been right at the top of our list, because when you know the players who are 18, 19 and 20 years old and you've been working with them for 10 years or more, then the pressure on you for recruitment isn't that great. It came on last year, as we've discussed many times. We weren't really in good shape for it, and we needed to be in better shape. And putting Josh together with Glyn, you've got a data man, you've got an old-fashioned guy who's got networking connections, knows half the players in the league's inside leg measurements, in a notebook of his own. Putting them together with the new football management team and Kenny was just what needed to be done, and they've gone together. They've settled in great. Listen, we'll all judge it, won't we? You included, when you start commentating on those first games. But how happy am I at this point? Very happy. Yeah,
fingers crossed it all goes well for everybody. But the one thing that this football club continues to do under previous regimes and under your regime now is produce its own players. And I think it's 8. I think I'm not quite sure whether that's the right number. But 8 came from scholars to pros, led by Zach Williams, led by Conor O'Riordan, led by Conor Salisbury. How pleasing is that you're still doing that?
Oh, I mean, it's for me the reason for being here. It really is the reason for being here, and it would have been more than 8 if it hadn't been for long-term injury. I mean, 1, probably 2, unfortunately suffered from long-term injury, and it wasn't a possibility. So it's a good crop. The year behind's a good crop, and I think, as I said to the supporters at the last evening, we've also made investments in pre-academy, so we're bringing in more under-9s now than we've ever brought. Now, obviously, that's you don't have to be a mathematician, Graham, to work out that's a 10-year investment, because we're not going to see the fruits of those labours until they get to 18 or 19. But the academy looks good. It looks strong. The atmosphere in the academy is good, and of course, the people who are leading the team know more about the lads who are coming through than most because they've been there for that long. So that gives us, a tremendous base. But your question was originally about the recruitment, and putting that recruitment together was absolutely crucial.
Just looking at it and generally overseeing it all, what you've been able to do is protect a bit of the future for the football club long term with you signing up of your younger players. That must be vital, because perhaps there was a little concern a few years ago that might have been falling away from you, that probably you couldn't do anything about, but you've been able to stop that and get them here for the future.
Well, I'll never say never. It's a fingers crossed job. The strings are pulled by the Premier League. They support us, they put money into the game, but equally they're also a threat. And there was danger that some of those 18s might go before they even kicked a ball for Crewe Alexandra. Now, fortunately, because we have such a long relationship, we can explain that, being the number 10 choice at a Premier League club is just, you're just one of their lottery tickets, and you'd be better off, playing 2 or 3 seasons at Crewe and setting your wares out. So from that point of view, the way things stand at the moment, I'm reasonably relaxed. But you can't rest for a minute, because the way in which the big clubs work and the way in which the European system has now changed so much, we can't have kids from Spain and France and Argentina and all the rest of it, then our academy kids are always going to be prey to the larger clubs, and we have to be aware of that. Now, at the end of the day, if they're going to go and transfer fees are going to come and they're going to play, great. But if they're going to go and just be another player, sitting on a bench, playing for the reserve under 23s, that's what we're on every day of the week, and we talk about it constantly.
It was a massive blow. Everybody concerned that you lost your League One status, and when you look at League One and look at some of the teams in it, it's a great league to be involved in. But you're not. You've got to be optimistic that you're hopefully going to get back. And do you feel there's no grey cloud that sometimes they say when relegation happens to a football club hanging over you? Do you feel it's all been lifted and you can look forward to what's coming up from July? Well,
I do, and I think more importantly, I think Alex Morris does. Alex is new to this. He wasn't relegated. He picked the team up after we'd been relegated. There's a number of players gone. Some were a surprise to me, frankly. That's the hard job that Alex has, and he's brought in, quite a lot of fresh new faces, and he's probably got 1 or possibly 2 more to go. Having detected the mood yesterday down at Rees Heath, I mean, they are really up. You don't see it as a group that's sitting on its laurels saying no, or even cursing its past. I see them as people who see it as an opportunity. If Alex had started in League One and people were expecting him to get promoted to the Championship, his challenge would have been massive. He knows we can get from League Two. He knows we've done it from League Two only 2 years ago, and he knows how we did it in League Two because he was part of it, and he knows what the constituent parts were in order to achieve that. So that has to give you some degree of solace and comfort that we know what we're doing.